Yeah, Mataji, I just started.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome all to Everyday Chant Harinam conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Gaur Gadadhar Das Prabhu from Tennessee to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagvatam, verse number 20, chapter 11, canto 6. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Mataji and all the assembled devotees. Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. So now we are reading from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 6, Chapter 11, the transcendental qualities of Vritasur. And we'll just, before we start reading, we'll just start with a little Mangalacharan and then we'll start with the discussion. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namah. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yutpat Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadbhutam Parijan Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapatkanchan Gourangi Shri Radhe Vindamne Shri Vrishmano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalptarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the three verses glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shaloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Shranvata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hidayanto Stohe Badrani Vidunoti Suhatsatam. Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who resides in everyone's heart as Supersoul, Paramatma, and is a benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed an urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, we are reading from chapter 11, canto 6, the transcendental qualities of Vritasur. So, Vritasur, even though he is he is a demon actually. Here, he's fighting with the demons, along with the demons, with the demigods. But he is having wonderful qualities. No? And we will see those qualities getting reflected in today's verses. Now we'll try to cover more, like, so we are reading from verse number 20. So, so here, before we start with the discussion, just a little context, what's going on. So here we see there is a fight going on between the demons and the demigods, and Vratasur is being, and we have seen in the past that Vratasur was uh, was born from the fire sacrifice to by like we see Indra killed Vishwarup, one of the uh, sages who was no who sided with the demons, and Indra killed him. No, and then his father Twishta, he performed this fire sacrifice to produce Vratasur, who can kill Indra. But in the pronunciation, we know, he pronounced that Sanskrit word little, in an extended way, which made it like, no. So he wanted someone who could kill Indra, but no, it sounded the way he pronounced Sanskrit. It turned out to be like the one who is an enemy of Indra. No, and in that way, being an enemy, Vratasur, it was to be killed by Indra. So we see, like, in this war, with the demigods, because demigods were being empowered by by Lord Vishnu himself. So these demons were, like, all these commanders in the demons, they were fleeing. So Vratasur tried to, make them not run away from the battlefield. No, he no, but they just were running away like cowards. So then he stood before the demigods, Vratasur, by himself, and he was such a huge. He had such a huge body. Now, just by seeing him, all the different demigods were very, very afraid of him, and he started trampling them. You know, and then Indra came along. Indra was also uh, kind of no try like no he was being no his elephant Aravat was being hit by Vratasur, and we see then, like, and definitely Vratasur is a devotee of the Lord, even though he is on the side of demons, because we have this previous pastime, like, Vratasur, like, he is he is a he is a devotee, and we will see that reflected in today's verses. So Vratasur tries to remind Indra, even though he could have easily killed Indra, you know because Indra was fell, and like, his elephant was being hit and all that, so Indra fell down. So Vratasur gave him enough time to recover, and then he is addressing Indra, that how he killed Indra killed his priest Vishwarup, even though a Brahmin. So we see Vratasur, like, he will be glorifying the Lord Vishnu, and so he is addressing Indra. So that's the context of today's verse, and we will see verse number 20. I'll read the verse, and then we will translation and purport by Prabhupada, and then we'll discuss that. So verse number 20. Nanao esha vrajastava shakra tejasa hare dadiches tapasa cha tejitaha teneva shatrum jahi vishnu yantrito yato hari vijaya Sharir Gunastataha. Translation: O Indra, King of Heaven, the thunderbolt you carry to kill me has been empowered by the prowess of Lord Vishnu and the strength of the Dadichi's austerities. Since you have come here to kill me in accordance with Lord Vishnu's order, there is no doubt that I shall be killed by the release of your thunderbolt. Lord Vishnu has sided with you. Therefore, your victory, opulence, and all good qualities are assured. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vratasur not only assured King Indra that thunderbolt was invincible, but also encouraged Indra to use it against him as soon as possible. Vratasur was eager to die with the stroke of the thunderbolt sent by Lord Vishnu so that he could immediately return home back to Godhead. By hurling the thunderbolt, Indra would gain victory and enjoy the heavenly planets, remaining in the material world for repeated birth and death. Indra wanted to gain victory over Vratasur and thereby become happy. But that would not at all but that would not at all be happiness. The heavenly planets are just below Brahmalok, but as stated by the Supreme Lord Krishna, Brahma Bhuvanala Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Even if one achieves Brahmalok, he must still fall to the lower planetary systems again and again. However, if one goes back to Godhead, he never returns to this material world. By killing Vratasur, Indra would not actually gain. He would remain in the material world. Vratasur, however, would go to the spiritual world. Therefore, victory was destined for Vratasur, not for Indra. No? So, in this verse, we nicely see that Vratasur is trying to remind um, Indra about his thunderbolt. So we see, as we were discussing, like Indra tried to, in the previous verse, Indra was trying to throw. He threw um, like a he threw gada, at um, at Vratasur, the club, basically, with Vratasur. But Vratasur was a great hero. He just caught hold of the club with his left hand, and then he beated Indra's elephant, and he struck him so badly with that club that elephant he was pushed back. Indra fell down from his back and all that. So we see Vratasur is very, very eager to return home back to Godhead. So that's why now he's trying to remind Indra that don't use any other weapon. No, you have this thunderbolt at your disposal, which is being empowered by Lord Vishnu, and which has the strength of the Rishi's austerities, because his bones were used to make that thunderbolt. So we see Prabhupada very nicely says that that Vratasur was he was eager to go back home, return back home, back to Godhead. So that's why he is wanting Indra to use that thunderbolt to kill him, so that he can die from this. He can be released from this demonic body, and he can go back to back home, back to Godhead, because he is a devotee of the Lord. No, and Indra, on the other side, one may think that he won. No, he will win by killing Vratasur, because all other commanders of the demons have fled. Only Vratasur is left there. So by killing Vratasur, Indra and all the demigods will win the battle. But Prabhupada very nicely says that even though Indra may win the heavenly kingdom by killing Vratasur, but he will still remain within the material world. No, because the heavenly planets are below Brahmlok, and all the way from Brahmlok, down to the Patal Lok. Everything is within the material world. No? This heaven, the heavenly planets of Lord Indra, they are all within the material world. So Indra, even though he will, by killing Vratasur, he will gain victory and he will gain heavenly planets, but he will remain in the material world. He will be rotting in this material world. But Vratasur, on the other hand, by being killed by this thunderbolt of Indra, he will be released from this body and this demonic body, and he will return back home, back to Godhead. So, in real sense, it was a victory for Vratasur by being killed by that thunderbolt, and it is not for Indra. So Vratasur is trying to remind Indra that no, use your thunderbolt. No, don't use any other weapon, because Indra was trying to use some lightweight weapons, and Vratasur was such a great hero. No, he knew. No, he was reminding Indra. So it's so we can see how amazing it is, where there are two contenders, and the one contender is trying to remind other to use a weapon that will kill him. So because Vritasur, being a devotee of the Lord, he knows no, he don't want to stay in this material world. He want to go back home, back to Godhead. No, so that's and Prabhupada quotes this from Bhagavad Gita, no, where Krishna quotes that no, that all these planetary systems from Brahmlok down to the Patal Lok, they're all places of temporary. They're all within the jurisdiction of material world, where uh, Durga Devi, she controls this material world, and the living entity keeps on moving up and down. But one who goes to the spiritual world, he never returns back to the material world. So that's the beauty of this whole process. So Vratasur was very, very eager to go back home, back to Gadadhar, and that's why he is reminding Indra to use his thunderbolt to kill him. So, and we can see the way he is reminding that no, because Lord Vishnu is on the side of the demigods headed by Indra. So definitely their victory, opulence, and all the good qualities are automatically assured. So we can see Vratasur is not a demon, but he is a devotee of the Lord, and he is very eager to go back home, back to Godhead. So we can discuss the next verse, number 21 also. Aham samadhyay mano yathana shankara shankarshanaста charanaravinde tvad brajaramoho lulita gramya pasho gatim mune yami apavidha lokaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: by the force of your thunderbolt, I shall be freed of material bondage and shall give up this body and this world of material desires. Fixing my mind upon the lotus feet of Lord Sankarshan, I shall attain the destination of great sages as Narad Muni, just as Lord Sankarshan has said. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The words Aham Samadhaya Manaha indicate that the most important duty at the time of death is to concentrate one's mind. If one can fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, Vishnu, Sankarshan, or any Vishnu Murti, his life will be successful. To be killed while fixing his mind at the lotus feet of Sankarshan, Vratasur asked Indra to release his Vajra or thunderbolt. He was destined to be killed by a thunderbolt given by Lord Vishnu. There was no question of its being baffled. Therefore, Vratasur requested Indra to release the thunderbolt immediately, and he prepared himself by fixing his mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. A devotee is always ready to give up his material body, which is described herein as Gramya Pash, the rope of material attachment. The body is not at all good. It is simply a cause of bondage to the material world. Unfortunately, even though the body is destined for destruction, fools and rascals invest all their faith in the body and never eager to return home back to Godhead. So, in this verse, we see verse number 21, Vratasur continues to address Indra by saying that when you use this thunderbolt, he will be freed from this material bondage, from this material body, and this world of material desires. And he was prepared to leave the body, and that's why he started fixing his mind on Lord Sankarshan. uh, and no and we all know, like no like Prabhupada in the purport, he says, like no, we can fix mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, Vishnu, Sankarshan, or any murti of the Lord, any form of the Lord Vishnu. So we see Sankarshan, like we see from how Lord Sankarshan is comes actually. So Krishna is the original personality, so he expands into Lord Balram. So Lord Balram further expands into the first Chaturvyu expansion. Lord Vasudev, Sankarshan, Anirudh, and Pradyumna. So this first quadruple of expansion of from Lord Balram, Lord Sankarshan, he further expands into another quadruple expansion, and that from there all these sources of different forms of Lord Vishnu originate. So we can, Prabhupada says, we can concentrate our mind on any Vishnu form, any form of the Lord. And he basically, Vratasur basically meditated on Lord Sankarshan. So we see, and that's why he is eager to, now while he is meditating on Lord Sankarshan, now he is requesting to use the Brajra or thunderbolt and kill him. Because while we are meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, if we have to leave the body at that time, then then he can attain the destination of Narad Muni, which is the spiritual world. So that was his desire. And we see a similar desire or a prayer by King Kulushekhara. So King Kulushekhara, he was a devotee of the Lord, and so he basically requested the Lord, that while his body is able, while body is working and his senses are intact, he he wanted the Lord to take no to like he did not want to wait for the old age where he is struggling with the body and not able to remember the Lord while leaving the body. So that's the so he wanted, while his body was intact, his senses was intact, now he can remember the Lord and then leave the body. So that's the very, very ideal situation. But we know sometimes, there is another verse in Srimad Bhagvatam where the Lord assures that for his devotee, even if at the time of leaving his body, he is not able to remember me because of so many external factors. The body is sick, the body is not in a proper situation to remember the Lord. But the good thing is the Lord remembers the devotee. So he assures from in Srimad Bhagavatam that verse comes where the Lord himself assures his devotee that if he has his life dedicated to him, then at the time of death, even if the devotee is not able to remember the Lord remembers the devotee, and he will uh, take him back home, back to Godhead. So we don't have anything to fear. But Vratasur, no, like he, and definitely the mood of devotees is, on the other hand, is being humble and meek, they don't consider themselves to be devotees. No, they consider themselves to be uh, trying to uh, imbibe the devotional mood. So that's the mood of the devotees on. So that's why Vratasur, he begins to meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Sankarshan, so that and he reminded Indra to use the thunderbolt to kill him. So that way, when Indra uses his thunderbolt to kill him, which was definitely like no, which cannot be no, which cannot be baffled, because Lord Vishnu has empowered that thunderbolt. And so Bharatasur was wanting Indra to use that thunderbolt so that he can fix his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord and leave the body and thereby go back home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada says like this body is Gramya Pash. So this body is what is tying us to this material world. No, so it is this body is simply a bondage to the material world, and this body is destined to be destroyed. No, the Panchabhut, no, Panch Mahabhut. So it will basically earth, water, fire, air, ether, which makes up the gross body. Now, then there is a subtle mind, intelligence, ego, false ego. So this gross body, no, which we call a body, no, is destined for destruction. We all know, we have seen, you know, like when Yaksha asked Yudhishthira Maharaj this question, that what is the biggest surprising thing in this world? So Yudhishthira Maharaj replied that everyone sees uh, that his grandfather passed away, his relatives are passing away, people around him, everyone is leaving the body. But the biggest surprising thing in this world is one thinks that he will not die. And death means change of body, leaving the present body and moving on to the next body. No, if we are not Krishna conscious, then we will get another material body. But if we are on the spiritual path, then based on our progress, Krishna, if we have made enough progress, so Krishna will provide us with a spiritual body to serve him in the Vaikuntha planets. And the topmost in the Vaikuntha is Golok Vrindavan. So Prabhupada says that even though this body is destined to destroy one day, but these fools and rascals, like these materialistic people, now they are investing so much time on the body, and like no, they have full faith on the body, no, that this body is all in all, no, and the materialists they feel, no, that this body is all in all and it is meant for utmost enjoyment, eat, drink, and be merry, no, and once the body dies, everything is dead, everything is done. So that's we can see around us, people around us, that's where they are investing their time, on the body, on the bodily needs, and so much uh, extra things to upkeep the body. Now we see the big cosmetic industry, so much money is being pumped in, and people are billions and billions of dollars. People are buying this cosmetics to keep the body young. No, so no, they're saying like no, when we are young, we are working hard to earn money, and when we get old, we burn that money to look young. Uh, so that's the current civilization, demonic civilization. So that's why these people, these materialists, they never are eager to return home back to Godhead. So that's the sorry state of affairs. No? So with this, I will I will stop here, and I will open up the questions forum for any questions or any additions that devotees may want to add. No, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Madhanat Pranam to you.
Yeah,
And all
Dandavat
the
Pranam.
who
Yeah,
joined.
Hare.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. Very concise and, doing a recap also very nice. And I was reminded of when you said that Vritasur was ready to go. It reminded me, like, when we think of death, we think of suffering, birth, death, then old age, disease, all connected to suffering. And then there are three more: Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, and Adi Adhyatmik, right? So all
Yeah,
these problems are there. So, like yesterday, also, our one of our speakers who joined was mentioning that about something, reminded us about Kunti Maharani. So, how she was also welcoming sufferings, because she knew that at least Krishna will be there. And here we are reading today that she was like actually welcoming in her life suffering. So, Krishna will be there with her. But Vritsura, he's basically like welcoming death because he knows, he's so confident that, back to Godhead he will be going, like that. But sometimes I also think, like, I wish we could have that strong faith. So then the more strong faith we have that we can go back to Godhead, then we will not have much attachments here and, run around here and there for so many useless things we are involved in the material world. But somehow I think that faith, I'm just saying for myself, is not so strong, and we are entangled here, like, and several people will also say that, kisko pata kahan jana hai, like, it's and there was one person who was mentioning to me that, any devotee that will go, everybody just assumes that he's going back to Godhead. How is it sure? Ultimately, it's a God who decides. Maybe he's given him rebirth or something like that. So people have different notions about, where one goes and what happens after death. But it's very nice, even if whatever the destination is, I feel like even the devotees carry the same bhav, in their heart. If a person is suffering, like from cancer or anything, they'll say, oh, well, it's time for this person to go because, he's got limited days and cancer is not curable. They take everything, like in a positive way. So, like, similar to what Vatsura is also representing. So, it's so nice to have devotees in one's life, and they carry the same this thing, like. Otherwise, normally in the material world, they'll say, "Oh, cancer hai, ye hai, wo hai, kaise hoga?" Like they're so. I mean, it's a total different thinking altogether, right, Prabhuji?
yeah, Mataji.
The
So
world,
definitely, like, no,
world we
Mataji,
live
like,
in. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So there are two type of ignorances, Mataji, like, no, like there are two situations actually, not ignorances. Two type of situations. One is when somebody has to leave the body in ignorance. No. So in ignorance, no, one may be thinking, okay, no, like materialistic thing, like, no, we everyone has to die or something, right? But as long as we are living, we need to enjoy as much as possible. No, eat, drink, and be merry. So they may get cancer, they may try to cure desperately, try to cure that medicine, by cancer, and then but they don't change their no, their routine is, whatever the process they did before cancer. So after treatment, like, they will again continue to do the same way. Again, when the cancer comes, comes with much more force. No, and during the course of time, they are just desperately trying to enjoy, as much as possible. But on the other hand, like we seen, like when devotees they leave the body, no, how peaceful they are. No, like we saw, like right from the Parikshit Maharaj. Now he was to die within 7 days. So how peacefully he was hearing Srimad Bhagvatam. And even before Taksha had come, he had already went back. Only the body was left there. No, he already went away back home, back to Godhead. No, he was able to meditate on the Lord and return back home. So basically, like, so that's the beauty of the devotees. And in today's world also, like we see so many devotees, when they leave the body, they are in a very, very peaceful manner. On the contrary, the materialists, when they leave the body, it's very, very painful. So because of the consciousness they have, so, but definitely, like, as you were saying to the previous question, one time Prabhupada was being asked by this a kind of an atheist person. So he said, like, you are all doing Krishna, Krishna every time, every day. What if after death you find out that there is no Krishna? No? So Prabhupada said, like, no, Prabhupada had this quality. No, like, even though the question may be absurd, but he will reply to the other person in a way that will touch his heart. No, like, so Prabhupada answered him like, okay, we have nothing to worry, So even in this life, we are happily chanting, dancing, feasting, no, no, and and enjoying, having a wonderful life, having these young boys and girls around. So we are enjoying this life to the, to the best, and at the end of the life, no, if if whatever happens, like, no, we are, no, we don't have anything to fear because we lived a life, no, in a very, very wonderful way. But what about you, no, who is suffering in this world, but after death you find out that there is Krishna, no? And that guy was totally, like, struck with wonder. So we can see, like, devotees life, it is wonderful, we have such a nice time with each other, like, even though we may not know, like, we may not have bodily connections, but just by being with devotees whom we are maybe meeting for the very first time, there is no there is such a close connection, as if we knew each other for many, many millions of years, and on the contrary, we see with our non-devotee relatives and all, when we visit them or when we are with them, there is a big, like, no, as if like we never knew them. We just are like an aliens in their, in their area, in their house. So we can see that's the beauty of this Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada's mood, actually, now we can see just he had such a sincere desire, and with that sincere desire, one man, he made such a big change, all over the world. So we just have to keep that momentum. So faith basically develops when we are in association with the devotees, and we invest some faith, we gain more faith, we again invest faith, we gain more faith, and definitely, like, we can see, eventually this is not something, and like we can see from Prabhupada disciples, like Prabhupada left almost like 46 years ago, and all these disciples were in their teens, and they just had few years of association with Prabhupada and his books. And Prabhupada was always traveling. There was not like a continuous association of Prabhupada. They had physical association, but they were in touch with the books of Prabhupada. So even after, after 46 years, they carry, we can see how established they are in this message, and that's not easy for someone who is not grown, who is not born and brought up in this kind of culture, so we can see that should give us, and many of these disciples who were like in the hippie movement, like, no, they were not supposed to live like more than just few years, maybe 2-3 years. Now, after joining Krishna consciousness, they became so healthy, and, in mind and body, and like the souls were like, and like they were so happy and blissful that even after, they are still living, even after 46 years of Prabhupada leaving the planet. So we can see, and in full Krishna consciousness, so like Jayapataka Maharaj was there in Sadhu Sangha this year, and the way he answered, like, I'm so even though from the material side, I'm totally, like, broken, like, he cited different problems that he is facing, but being in Krishna consciousness, he says, I'm very, very I'm very happy, No, and we can see that's the mood actually. So no, that it's not like, we can see that it's not like they have not realized Krishna. No, Krishna, no, they no, being in this movement, they are in getting continuous reciprocation with Krishna. No, and that's why they are able to get that kind of a taste, no, to continue with this process. It's not like it's happening only, it will happen only after we leave the body. No, no, they are, because of that only they are able to continue. Otherwise, putting some blind faith on someone, in some process, can go on for few years, no, or no, but not for like 46 years. No, so that's the kind of realization we all should have. Now we should, like, the taste of, Prabhupada used to say, the taste of pudding is in eating. No, we should try it out, we should develop the faith, we should help others who are struggling. No, so with that, we'll get special mercy of the Lord, and we all will be able to grow in this Krishna consciousness movement. And when we return back home, back to Godhead, one day, then we will all remember this as just a bad dream, that we came to this material world ever. So we will be in a eternal life with Krishna, blissful life, so that we are all heading for. So by Prabhupada's mercy and the mercy of the acharyas and Prabhupada disciples, so that with that mood we should continue. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I like the point you mentioned about in the beginning about Parikshit Maharaj. See, Parikshit Maharaj, when that boy cursed him, he was so much in ignorance. He knew that he's the king, in lineage from Krishna's family only. Like we know about, how Subhadra, Uttara, how then even this one, Kunti Maharani was a bua, Subhadra was a sister, and Subhadra's daughter-in-law, but still he gave a curse, and his father was so upset. So this is the material world. This is material world. People are cussing, on the road. You see how things are. It's crazy. People, the way they drive, the way they act. So, it's I sometimes think that, like the weekends are very good, in USA, not because, we have to go and enjoy the weekend, but at least we have association of devotees, and that time we feel like in a total different zone altogether, especially when there's Harinam or Rath Yatra or some Sunday love feast. But other times it is, there was one Mataji telling me yesterday that, I don't feel like going for groceries. So I said, what I do is I don't go very often, but once a week I have to go. Milk, tomatoes, ginger, so much things we need every time, weekly basis. So I said, I just go once a week. Once a week I go, and I'll just put on my headphones only, if I'm going alone, and then I just keep hearing Prabhupada's lecture, and then I go and do purchase, and quickly get done, go to a couple of stores, and so we don't have to be in that energy. That energy is so material, like, it really pulls you down. So I was telling her, you just, like, make sure that time also you're engaged in like hearing something or the other, or you have kirtan on, or like we recently started, my daughter and me, we go for walks, so I have this Bluetooth, so I take a bag and I put the Bluetooth and we put on the Harinam. So, like even in the neighborhood, when we are walking, people are there looking, saying hello and hi, and their energy is also the same kind. So sometimes they'll say, oh, nice music. So I feel at least if me and my daughter can't do Harinam, then on the Bluetooth, whatever facility we have, and so to say the least, in the COVID times, how devotees, I was really amazed. My impression or my love or my desire to be in this movement increased so much during COVID time, that I was seeing in such hard times, devotees were not bothered about, life and death and COVID, but they continuously preaching, Zoom sessions are going on, so many people joining in, and, from their home, they're preaching. So, it's very, very nice to see all this. And for me, especially because I feel that, I'm not coming from a background where, my background is more like, I will say, Prahlad Maharaj background, where the family is not even vegetarian, uh, family members who we have to visit, like close people. And having coming from there, and then on the other side we see the spiritual world where see devotees. It is it's life and soul is there actually. It's really amazing how devotees here are, and how we are hearing about like and these scriptures actually, they're very, very important, because what happens is, like, hearing Prahlad Maharaj's story, hearing about Parikshit Maharaj's story, they were all actually living the life what we are leading, material life, where we see all this, but they are at a different platform only, like altogether. So especially very, very important that we connect to scriptures, because it's giving us so much of insight, where we don't feel, even if, say, one person, I myself practicing alone, of course my daughters also chant, my mother also chant, but sometimes their chanting is just chanting only, and then doing other material things. So like Bhagavatam says, now they're mixed devotees. So there are a lot of people I'm connected to in family also. They might be vegetarian, they might be eating onion, garlic, whatever it is, but it's not like they have taken it to the heart. Like, like yesterday, one speaker had come, and he was saying that we were asking him, his name is Tarun Prabhu from Delhi. Tarun Prabhu. So he said, so Mataji asked, Shamarasika Mataji asked him that how he came. So he says few devotees came and invited, and my mother started going. So once mother started going to the temple, the first thing she did is stop cooking onion garlic. So this is taking the Krishna consciousness to the heart. But there are some people who we tell them also take prasadam, onion, but they will eat onion garlic, they will chant also. So, I don't know how quickly, they have to quickly take it up, and, just follow along. I mean, we are not missing anything without onion garlic. In fact, now I don't even like the smell of onion garlic. My situation is such, when I smell onion garlic, it's like very repulsive, At one point, it was not like that. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And also, please, I wanted everyone to pray for Mataji. Shamarasika Mataji's father is not very well. So she's just taken a flight. Yesterday, Mataji messaged me, and she will be coming back by 25th of October. But if we can all, pray for her father, maybe we can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. And, so we can pray that he is well, because she's gone just for this reason, and she should be back by end of October. So let's all chant for. I forgot to ask Mataji's father's name, but next time I can ask Nikunjras Prabhu. He is here only. I think Prabhuji also didn't join, because anyway. So Prabhuji would join tomorrow. So everybody can chant for Shamarasika Mataji's father's health. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare. So the prayers, and keep Mataji and her father in your prayers. So I know that two people regularly join and they're missing. So we're missing them on the call also. I know they are like the pillars here. And now we don't have them. I was telling Mataji, we will really miss you. But I said at the same time, you have your duty. She being the eldest child in the family, she has to be with her father and take care. And sometimes, even visiting parents, the like a lot of diseases are emotionally connected. The father will see the daughter will become okay only. Sometimes it happens. So she says, I'm going to, visit and be with him for some time. Anyway, thank you so much, Prabhuji. So yeah, Vani Mataji, you can take over. And I think, I don't know about the recording, but I'll be ending the call, because Marinda Prabhu made me the host. And Prabhuji, once again, thank you so much for the wonderful class and your association, although once a month, but you do the recap and focus us nicely on the topic. It's like we know that you have read at least 5-10 verses before also. So, because even if your class was like, you're doing, I think probably must be on chapter 10 that time. Now we're on 11, but still, you take the effort to read and give us the recap, because with me also, because I was so busy that I was yesterday reading all the back verses. I was not being able to follow up. So it really helps that recapping. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother. Thank you very much for all the devotees giving this opportunity. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Vishwa Kripa Sindhu Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananda Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. His Grace Gaur Gadadhar Prabhu ji ki jai.